release date got announced early. Final Fantasy VII might come to Xbox soon, and Capcom has reached a turning point with Resident Evil. Well, all this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Yo, what's up? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Thursday, February 6th, 2025. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing Adeoye Jr. Joining me is the Lock, the Tastemaker, Roger McCordy.
It's good to be back. It's good to be back on KFGD. No one's been holding me back.
Good to be back.
It's good to be back.
Where'd you go?
I went to Trinidad. I've been places. I haven't been on KFGD in probably like over a month.
No way, really?
I swear to God.
No way.
Look it up, chat. Look it up, chat. I know there's a lot of Raj heads in there. They know. They've been keeping track. They've been keeping track. They've been keeping track. They're ready to go.
Let Raj know. What do you want to talk about then? It's been a month. Do you have anything to go off your chest?
Oh, man. Well, I mean, I got slapped. So, like, I'm kind of rattled from that, right? I don't know where I'm at. Yeah, I don't know where I am. I might be in Trinidad. Might be in the air right now. But I'm playing Hollow Knight. That was the incident that maybe started me getting slapped, right?
Yeah.
I was just playing Hollow Knight.
The guy looked over your shoulder. He was like, "Oh, he's further than me. I can't handle this.
I gotta stop him, bro. He's really going deep."
Of course, if you're not familiar with the Roger slap story, you gotta listen to the Kinda Funny podcast that went up earlier this week.
Yes.
Short story is you got slapped on a plane.
I got slapped on a plane. The guy was not happy because he thought that I was moving my chair. I was not moving my chair. Slapped me across the head while I was playing Hollow Knight. So yeah, I'm playing Hollow Knight. So
How's that?
I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. So we're doing the top 100 games of all time. I don't know when it's happening. No spoilers. I don't know. But I was like, let me just get ahead of this, right? Like I got a lot of blind spots in my gaming history, but I made like a tentative list of like, here's just 100 games. Like here's the games that I love. Maybe they make the list. Maybe they don't make the list. I was like, you know what? Pretty solid list. You know what I mean? Like I put it together. I was like, I don't feel embarrassed about this list. I thought I would. I thought I'd be like, oh man, I didn't play X game. I didn't play this game. I was like, no, if this like went out the way that it is, I'm fine with it.
I love that.
Right? But there is a few games. There's like, I think 20 games that I have. I'm not going to actually play 20 games by the time we actually do the top 100 games. But this is like the first one that I'm getting to. Hollow Knight.
I love that.
The top of the list.
I will say, I'm in a similar page as you of the top 100 games is happening.
Yeah.
This year, I am going to get around to playing certain games that I've been putting off.
You want to talk about any of them?
I'm not going to talk about any of them, right? All I will say is that soon, on a Kinda Funny stream, I will start a long-awaited playthrough. That's all I'll say. I will start a long-awaited playthrough. Maybe
this week?
Maybe this week, maybe next week. Definitely not this week, actually, but maybe next week. Yeah, I got moved.
Okay, well, there's a pre-recorded GAMESCAST that we do talk about it a little bit.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. That might get spoiled. Yeah, I might play a game. I did start for like the 18th time Outer Wilds last month in preparation for the top 100 games. Like I always fell off. Yeah. I kind of want to get back to it just to push myself through it, just to say it. Kind of. I don't really want to get back to it, but I want to force myself to get back to it because I know once I beat the game, Roger, I'll understand it. Once I beat the game, I will then be like greatest of all time because it's on paper. It is such a me-ass video game.
Yeah,
it is. Explore at your own pace. Go whatever direction you want. Put together a mystery. Solve puzzles. There's time loop shit going on. Every single.
You made a whole video about time loops.
I made a whole video about time loops. Right? Like I talked about the Forgotten City. Like I love puzzles. I made a whole video about puzzles. I love everything on paper about Outer Wilds. But for some reason, it's not been able to hit with me yet. But I'm gonna get there.
That's my next game.
I'm gonna get there.
That's
Roger.
my next game.
You want to play it together? Let me sit beside you as you play it.
You play the game, Roger. You play the game.
You play. I'll just watch you play. And so like I genuinely do want to get back to it. A couple nights ago, got the Steam Deck. Right? Picked up the Steam Deck. I should say. I've had the Steam Deck. Picked up my Steam Deck. Booted up Citizen Sleeper 2.
Yeah.
Booted up Citizen Sleeper 2.
How was that?
Slept. Played about 30 minutes when I went to sleep, and now I know why it's called Citizen Sleeper 2.
This guy only plays Magic. I swear to God. Like, Blessing might be washed, y'all. He might not be playing any video games because the amount of times there have been.
I opened it. I was like, read? You want me to do what? Read,
guys. The amount of time that
Where's the gameplay?
Blessing has
had swing a sword.
Has had on the calendar play X redacted video game, and then I walk past his desk, and for 4 hours he's playing Magic all day.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Magic the Gathering might be the greatest game ever created.
Wow.
It might be up there with chess. It might be up there with, I don't know, solitaire. Fucking Magic the Gathering. I was playing I was invited to the streamer event yesterday and today for Ether Drift, which is the upcoming expansion for Magic. Let me tell you, they got the stuff.
Yeah?
They got the stuff in Magic the Gathering.
How much money have you spent in Magic? Or are you just, you're just lucky enough? Okay.
I mean, I've not spent any money on Arena because shout out, they actually sent me money to spend. They sent me the currency. So I've not actually spent any money on Arena.
Blessed.
I did I went to a pre-release event for like the last thing. Innistrad Remaster is like the expansion.
What? When was this?
Like 3 weeks ago.
Wait, you go physically?
Yeah. I went to a local game shop and then I played.
Oh,
against
okay.
other
Was
people.
this like an actual official event, or is this?
No,
like,
I mean this is like local when there's like when there's new
I was
packs.
like, damn,
dropping.
you're like that much of a fucking influencer. Like they're flying you out.
No,
for the-
no, no,
I was like,
no.
holy shit.
But no, I went to that and I played against some local people, and then with that was like $40.
Okay.
And then I'm going to one tomorrow for Ether Drift, which will be another $40. So I think that's $80 so far. I might have spent.
That's not bad.
I'm trying to think if I've spent on any other on any other thing. I don't think I have. So I've $80 overall so far with Magic.
Hilldill 8 in the chat says, famously no reading in a card game.
It's just the reading's more interesting because it's like, how am I gonna fuck up my opponent?
Yeah,
you know
it's like,
I mean?
what does this card do in Citizen Sleeper 2? I'm assuming it's like, oh, I'm a robot.
That's the thing is like I'm fucking playing
game.
Citizen Sleeper 2, and they're like, oh, when you awaken from your deep cyber slumber, and this character is being weird, but this other character, you're following them, but you don't know what's happening. I will say, I think I could get really into Citizen Sleeper 2.
You could. There's always a could.
There's always a could. And genuinely, as I started playing it, I was like, oh, I could get really into this. But it was legitimately, I was playing it before bed, and I was like,
that's a tough one.
Well, my plan was to always play it before bed, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it my routine to play 30 minutes to an hour of Citizen Sleeper 2 before bed.
Like a little book.
Like a little book, because
like
it literally is like it's like reading a book.
Yeah.
The problem is just too many routines in my life right now. I'm trying to go to the gym every day.
Going to the gym.
I'm trying to do other things every day. I'm trying to go to work every day.
You couldn't say two things.
I'm trying to make my breakfast smoothies and
trying to play Outer Wilds. Trying to
play
keep
Outer
on
Wilds.
doing that.
Too many routines, but
you're stuck in a time loop there. You just keep on restarting the game.
Dude, legitimately, like when I finally beat Outer Wilds, it's gonna be the most poetic playthrough.
Yeah.
Because I really have just been through a time loop.
Honestly, that's how I feel about Hollow Knight. I've booted up Hollow Knight maybe 6 times. I've played the first 2 to 3 hours of Hollow Knight 6 times. This is my 6th time. I'm gonna beat this.
Hollow Knight on the list for me as well.
Yeah, okay.
I gotta play that.
So really quick, I don't have a conversation. Is that I'm in a weird position. We'll talk about another game later in the show. That I have this top 100 games, games that I want to play for the top 100 list potentially. But a lot of those sequels and remakes and games associated with are coming out this year. Metroid Prime. Do I wait for Metroid Prime 4? Do I just play Metroid Prime 4? Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid. I've never played a Metal Gear Solid game other than 5. Do I just wait till Delta, right?
Roger, this is what I'll tell you right now. Play Metroid Prime 1. Play the remaster. Because it's going to be a different game.
But I'm just scared of, like, burning out, right? Like, or, like, my time, right? Because, like, not that I have a great time, but, like, there's so many games on this fucking list. I have Nier Automata. Should I just wait till Metroid Prime 4, get my Metroid Prime fix, and then move on to fucking, I don't know, Outer Wilds?
They made 2 more Metroid Primes after Metroid Prime 1. And as far as I understand, they didn't touch Metroid Prime 1. Just play Metroid Prime 1.
Okay.
And then when 4 comes out, if you get the hunger, if you get the thirst for it, then play that as well. Like, I don't know if that's one that you'd get burnt out on.
Okay.
Like, Metroid Prime for me was such a, like, I played that again for the first time 2 years ago or so. That shit rocked. And, like, in 2023 or whenever I played it, that shit was like, damn, that's a video game right there. And I could see you having that same feeling. And I could see Metroid Prime 4 playing and being like, okay, cool, this is more Metroid Prime, which we all love. But I think there's something,
the first one is so
there's
special.
something about 1 that, like, I think might just make it stand on its own, right? I think it might just be a unique experience.
Okay.
But enough about that, Roger. Let's get into today's news. Because remember, this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and on podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with the Kinda Funny membership on Patreon, YouTube, and now Spotify and Apple Podcasts to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get a daily exclusive show. For a chance to be a part of the show, submit your thoughts and opinions as YouTube Super Chats as we go. Housekeeping for you. We're an 11-person business all about live talk shows. So today, after KFGD, you're going to get GAMESCAST, which is our Mario hopes and dreams for the Switch 2. We're going to talk about what we want out of the next 3D Mario.
Oh, the next 3D Mario, not just Mario in general.
See, that was the conversation me and Tim had yesterday. Because in my mind,
there's a maker.
In my mind, I was like, let's talk about the Mario franchise, right? I want to talk about what we want out of Mario Kart, Mario Party, 2D Mario. But Tim is like, no, I think we have enough for just a 3D Mario for a whole episode, and then like we can talk about the other stuff in like other episodes. And I'm like, listen, you're the boss man, all right? Sure. Let's talk about 3D Mario. I don't know,
but we already know what's gonna happen. I've already predicted it. Mario and Donkey Kong Odyssey. I've already said it. It's happening.
That's my thing. Is how much can I say about what I want out of a 3D Mario?
Sure.
Because they already made like 4 perfect ones.
Will Cappy be back, or will he just be dead?
He'll be dead.
Will he make an appearance?
No, he's dead. I mean, his corpse might.
Oh.
Yeah.
Aren't there ghost Cappies too? So he'll be there. He'll be in, like,
he'll be one of those ghost Cappies that you get in the first Kingdom. And then the stream after that is going to be Kingdom Hearts 2 finale with Mike. If you're a Kind of Funny member, you can get today's Gregway, and you can get MCU in review, the Great Marvel Rerank, this afternoon and tomorrow on YouTube and podcast services.
That's an exciting one.
Let me tell you, Roger. Are you like me where you get FOMO with MCU in review?
Yes. No, specifically, I don't get FOMO for MCU in review. I get FOMO for the fact that they're going to do the Fantastic Four movies, and I really want to watch those Fantastic Four movies again.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Would you believe that I've never actually seen a Fantastic Four movie?
Not even the Jessica Alba ones?
No.
Whoa. No. I feel like you and we have like such like a similar taste in like shitty superhero stuff sometimes. I feel like that's like right up your alley.
I mean, probably. I mean, in 2025, I don't know if it is, but like, I think all my life I always heard that the Fantastic movies were not good.
Yeah.
And so I just always avoided them. But now that the new trailer's out, I've seen on Twitter people like posting clips from the Jessica Alba and Chris Evans one, and I'm like, this looks fun. Like, this looks kind of fun.
It's a fun campy time.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, I get FOMO to the point where I think I'm gonna make my own MCU ranking.
Oh.
I think I'm gonna go in and like. I saw Andy was using some kind of tool, I think.
Yeah, and I also saw a Kind of Funny best friend on the Reddit. Sorry, I don't have your name off the top of my head. Made like a whole like thing where you could do this or that, but for the entirety of all of the MCU things, and you just do this or that 700 times, and it'll make your list for you at the ending of it. So
I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna make the list that everybody's gonna look at and be like, this is how it should be.
You're gonna make the list that just everybody agrees on. World peace.
I'm not saying everybody's gonna agree on it. All I'm gonna say is that you're gonna look at it and be like, this seems better. This seems like
I'm gonna make one that's better than all of them. Yeah,
better than the MCU in review. Because like I've heard their disrespect towards Black Panther, and I can't take it anymore.
One or two.
One. Black Panther 1 is a masterpiece.
I agree,
except for the CGI. In some places.
That's fair.
Aside from the CGI, that shit is a masterpiece. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Delaney Twining, Carl Jacobs, Omega Buster, and Karen Lindner. Today we're brought to you by Aura Frames, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is, and forever will be, the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 6 stories today.
Baker's Dozen.
Starting with our number 1. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater release date leaks via PSN. This is Jordan Middler at Video Games Chronicle. A trailer for Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater has gone live early, revealing the game's release date. The trailer, which is currently visible on the PlayStation Store page for the remake, shows that the game will be released on August 28th. According to the page, the game will be PS5 Pro enhanced. The trailer also confirms that the Snake versus Monkey mode from the original game will make a return in the remake.
No, what's that?
Oh, because you haven't played it.
I haven't played it. Is that the Ape Escape thing?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, so like in Metal Gear Solid 3 in the original game, they had like an Ape Escape. Well, it was like a bonus mode of the game where as Snake, you're going around like I think the opening area of the game and you're hunting down the Ape Escape monkeys.
So that's exclusive, right? To PlayStation, you would assume?
That's a good question. You know what?
You know what I mean? Like, will PlayStation share their toys? Will they allow that?
You're probably right about that. The interesting thing is I saw like the screen cap. I didn't watch the trailer. I don't even know if it's still on PSN.
I think GameSpot just uploaded it. Like I just saw GameSpot just uploaded it. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, Kevin's on the PSN page right now. It looks like
2025.
Yeah, announced. Can you scroll? Yeah,
no, it's gone.
I wonder if it's if you log in on PlayStation, like on an actual PlayStation, go to the store.
Maybe.
I imagine they must have taken it down by now. But I did see a screen cap of the end screen, and obviously because it's PSN, right? Like they just had PlayStation, they didn't have any other platform. So this is a PlayStation specific trailer, which makes you think, was this supposed to be at a state of play?
Oh yeah, for sure, right?
Yeah.
Like I mean, but it's usually you get the state of play leaks like a day before. This potentially would be a whole week out, right? I mean, like the rumors are it is February 14th.
Sometime next week.
Exactly, right? So yeah, this seems a little bit far out, but I mean, if they haven't uploaded it by now, this is totally part of the state of play. But it just makes me think of like, what is that state of play, right? I know we always go back and forth on like, is this going to be a banger one? Are we actually going to get not the Year of Dreams, but are we going to get like, a Ghost of Yote? Are we going to get, or is this going to be a bunch of third party stuff, right? I don't know. I mean, seemingly this kind of goes towards my like thought of just like a bunch of third party things we already know about, but
GameSpot really did just upload it. That's awesome. Yeah, like I think
they got their Thursdays mixed up. Lotus says, yeah, because State of Play is next Thursday.
Usually Thursday. See, the way I took it. Oh yeah, they must have gotten their Thursdays mixed up. Because my assumption is that like, when we're uploading to YouTube, you got the button of like publish now or schedule. In my head, I'm like, oh, they actually hit the publish now button.
Oh no!
There goes your trailer. It's up on the store. And so yeah, I guess that makes sense that maybe they did it on Thursday early on accident. But yeah, of course, this first State of Play. I think to your thing of what does that mean for the State of Play? Like, what are our expectations? I always go in with expectations low for a State of Play. That's not a May State of Play, May or June. I feel like if you're getting it during that Summer Game Fest season, usually it's going to be a bit more exciting than like outside of that, like a September or February State of Play. For a February, yeah, like a Metal Gear Solid Delta release date makes sense. I think with Ghost of Yote already being announced, yeah, here we go. Yeah, Kevin's brought up the key art or like the end screen for the trailer showing off the date, and yeah, the PlayStation thing.
Wait, it just says 2025, August 28th. Out. Just out.
It's like they're like we're tired of y'all asking for the release date.
It's out.
It's out. I mean, Ghost of Yote I think is an interesting question because I think that then depends on when is that game coming out.
Sure.
If that game is a summer game, then I think you could get more Ghost of Yote stuff here because you have to start talking about it. I think sooner than later.
Yeah.
I'm starting to be of the mind that game is coming out in the fall. I don't know why. After talking with Tim about it earlier,
just like it's the one big thing for PlayStation this year.
It feels like the one. I mean, that and Death Stranding too.
Yeah.
But I think both of those, like you can put one out in September or August. You can put the other out in October, November.
I mean, Kojima's editing, so you might get that too. You might get the Death Stranding 2 trailer.
Do you have an expectation on which might come first between Ghost of Yote and Death Stranding 2?
Oh, Death Stranding 2. That was also. I don't think it's on this, but I saw that it was rated, I believe, in Korea.
Yeah,
South Korea today. Like, so that means that it's like pretty imminent, like probably 3 months from now. So I would think that is coming out.
What do you think?
soon.
3 months from now?
3 to 4 months. It's not coming out in fall. Like, it's coming out before that. It's maybe even before Summer Game Fest. I would assume.
Death Stranding 2 before Summer Game Fest.
Maybe that's a little too much. When did the first one come out?
The first one came out in November.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So I associate it with fall because that's my thing is I am thinking about this with a bias of Death Stranding 1 came out in November that year. Ghost of Tsushima came out in July of that year. So my brain is telling me that that's how that's going to fall, even though I know that's not how it works.
Yeah.
I could see it being flipped. That's the thing is both of those games strike me as games that you could drop either time and it's fine.
Yeah.
Right? Death Stranding you can drop whenever during the year and it's fine. Ghost of Yote I think you could drop whenever during the year and it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on. Do you think how much does that depend on Shadows? I know Shadows is coming out in March, right? Like,
I don't think they give a fuck.
Yeah. It's just like completely separate situations, right? Like, do you think there's a world where Shadows is so fucking good that they're like, let's just get to the end of the year? I don't know, like to distance ourselves, or they're just like, hey, we're big dick in this.
Absolutely not. I think if Yote was coming out in March, then maybe it's like, oh, we should separate these a little bit. But for the fact that it seems like we're not going to get that for at least summer or after summer. I don't think they mind that. I don't think Ghost of Yote I think is going to outshine Assassin's Creed Shadows by like probably a large margin. So I don't think you worry about that. But yeah, I think when talking about the State of Play next week, seemingly, right? Allegedly. Rumored, reportedly. I guess I could see a Death Stranding 2 thing.
He's editing this fucking trailer, right? He's in Premiere, which is, by the way, I don't think we talked about this when we went to Kojima Productions. I asked when we were walking through, and there was like this beautiful editing bay. It was like one computer. It was like my dream, right? Like soundproof paneling and everything. And I looked at the person that was walking us through, and I was like, hey, like, is that where Kojima edits his trailers in this beautiful little area? He's like, no, he just does it as a desk. So
he's on a small laptop.
Yeah, just one screen. Laptop. Yeah, just open cubicles. So yeah, he's cooking up something, and this trailer is almost done. So I mean, I think that has to be next week. I mean, unless he's cooking super early for Summer Game Fest. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's coming out soon.
And then I guess the question is what else, right? Because I then come down to third party stuff. Me and Tim did the thing of opening up what the rest of the first half of the year looks like, and we kind of know, right? Like I expect things like the first Berserker Kazan to have just another trailer there. Yeah. It's tough to think of what are the unknown factors that we have that we need answers for.
Yeah, I don't think you get anything else first party. The Resident Evil question you guys talked about, of course. I think I lean more towards a remake of some sort. Maybe it is a Zero. Maybe it's a Code Veronica. I don't know. 9 feels about the right time, but also there was a pandemic in between. I just don't think that game is ready in that moment. And also maybe you want to wait for the potential RE9 movie that's coming out in the next year or so, directed by the Barbarian director.
Oh, okay.
So like maybe you want to associate that a little bit closer. But yeah, I could see some type of remake coming out there.
I mean, I'm on releases.com. Because that's my new thing. I'm on releases.com a lot, just looking at the game releases, seeing what's happening, seeing what the streets are up to.
Your life, yeah.
Sometimes I get bored at my desk, and I'm like, what game's coming out? And when I scroll, I like to scroll to the end of the quarters, because then they just fucking back everything up there of like things that are announced and but don't have dates. Right now, for like this quarter that we're in, you have Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 that I guess you could talk about. You have Judas, which there's no way that's coming out in the next 3 months, but who knows, right? Like if that might come out this year, I could see maybe like some kind of trailer for it.
Yeah, that's a weird one. That's such a weird one, man.
And then what? I'm looking at the Altars, Dune Awakening, which I don't know. I forget if that's even coming to PlayStation. No, that's a PC thing, so forget that.
I have a question.
What's up?
Do you think we see any Xbox games? Because there's always the Starfields out there, right? Like there's always those rumors like, oh, Starfield's coming out, Gears Collection is coming out, Halo Collection. Like, do you think that would ever happen? Like,
at a state of play, no. Like right now, at least, I think Xbox has to like solidify even more as a third party for PlayStation. Like,
or maybe this is the moment. Like, this is the moment where they're like, hey, like we don't give a shit anymore. Like fully, like we're just gonna give you a third party, version of Halo. Here it is. I think
Xbox is already there, but I think PlayStation needs to get there. I don't think PlayStation wants to show off a Halo thing at a state of play. And that's just me how I read PlayStation, right? I think they still see Xbox as enough of a competitor. If this was a Nintendo Direct, I could see Nintendo being like, oh yeah, put Halo in our thing. We don't give a fuck.
But then I also think about it the other way, right? Where it's like, if I'm PlayStation and Xbox of all people comes to me and they're like, hey, can we put Halo on your console? I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, fine. Let me show it off to the world, because it's like at that point, if you want to come to show off one of your video games that was originally first party and bring it third party, that's enough of like, oh, you're not a competitor anymore. You're just trying to, you know what I mean? Like you're the third party person.
But PlayStation, that's my thing is, I think if we're PlayStation, yes. If I'm PlayStation, I'm like, oh, we'll show off Forza Horizon, because our audience is gonna love this shit.
Yeah.
But I think PlayStation, somebody in chat said PlayStation still believes in console wars, and I'm with that. Like, I think PlayStation is still like, nah, man, we got a red line. Like, we'll obviously, we'll have your games on our platform because that does benefit us, but we're not going to promote your Xbox game. Like, we're not going to have that in the first party thing. In fact, I don't even know if the Xbox team has the wherewithal to like go to PlayStation and be like, hey, put this in your showcase. Like, I just don't think they have that kind of relationship yet.
Right? Like, I feel like that's enough of a difference, right? It's not like if it's not Halo, right? Halo is different, right? But like, Indiana Jones, Starfield, right? Those are games that, one of them is, we know for sure is going to be PS5, right? Indiana Jones.
I guess that's a good point.
But Starfield also, like, let's be honest, like that probably was originally thought of as a third party situation, right? Yeah. So, I mean, like, and there is such a huge audience of Bethesda people that would love Starfield on PlayStation, right? I see that as a little bit of like, it's not the same thing, but it's the same thing, but it's not the same thing. No, I feel that.
Indiana Jones is the one that I could see showing up at a state of play. And that is because like Indiana Jones, obviously Xbox, but you are right about like, there's Xbox and then there's Bethesda, which is technically Xbox, but Bethesda has been third party before. And so like you've had games like Deathloop show up on PlayStation and like, have that exclusive partnership with PlayStation at first. Like there's a relationship there that kind of exists outside of Xbox. And so they might view that and be like, it's also IP. And so Indiana Jones, everybody already knows is coming to PlayStation. I could see something like that. It's where you get to like Halo and Gears and Forza where I'm like, no.
Yeah.
That one's hard to see. Starfield, maybe.
Okay.
Starfield, I think, because that would be a good bit.
With the power of PlayStation 5 Pro.
No, absolutely not.
This is the way that our game actually should have looked.
Absolutely not. Some more things that I'm looking at on the calendar, right? Of like things I think we could get more info about. Mafia: The Old Country. I don't think it ever hurts to just throw that in any showcase.
Do anything with that.
Just do anything. Just put it in a showcase, let people remind people. Rematch, obviously that was announced during the Game Awards, right?
That's a cool one. I feel like that's a state of play. In my mind, that's a cool one.
If you remember Sifu when that came, so Rematch, for those who might have forgotten already, is the soccer game coming from the Sifu devs that was revealed during the Game Awards. That's one that we know is coming this year. And going back to Sifu, I believe came out as a console exclusive on PlayStation. I believe that was like correct me if I'm wrong, was that PlayStation Plus extra? Correct me if I'm wrong about that.
Was
But
it console exclusive? Oh, I don't remember that.
Chat, correct me if I'm wrong about it. I'm pretty sure it was a console exclusive.
Okay.
So I think they already have that relationship with PlayStation, and so I think it could make sense to put
cool.
Fifu in that thing. Dying Light the Beast. Remember that? It's a new Dying Light game.
Sure,
they announced it. They announced it. The Beast.
Yeah, the Beast. Let go of the Beast. You play as a beast. I don't know what the Beast element of it is. Is there a big zombie that is a beast?
Dude,
are you just like beast mode? Like, remember that? Like, we're bringing that back now.
No, some people saying it was a timed exclusive for PlayStation, talking about Sifu. Oh, somebody says, where is Baby Steps? That's another good one.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Dying Like the Beast, I believe, was a Gamescom opening night live announcement. And the thing about Gamescom opening night live is that every year it feels like a fever dream. Like, it feels like a ghastly happened, to where I'm like, what the fuck was the Dying Like the Beast trailer real?
Yeah.
Or did we all just, like, hallucinate that together?
Yeah, was that
is that an actual game coming out? So yeah, like I don't know. I'm excited for a state of play, but I'm not like over the moon of what my expectations are for it. I think it's gonna be a chill time, but I'm not looking at the state of play expecting to get the answers to, oh, Ghost of Yote is gonna come out exactly this date, and like Death Stranding 2 is also gonna, like, I'm not looking for all the answers. I think we'll get a few answers, but I don't think we're gonna get that many.
And this conversation really quick, like, changed to state of play stuff.
You're right, yeah.
But also, like, Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta coming in August. That's fire. I'm excited to play that one. I'm sure we're going to do a stream of some sort with it, but I've never played this one. I'm very excited to have it in, HD, remastered, 4K, whatever the fuck. And, like, I was reading into it, like, the idea that you can play in third-person mode and, like, that changes the difficulty opposed to the way that the game was originally. That's cool as hell. So I'm interested. I'm excited about this one. What's your hype level?
Oh, my hype level is high. Although August, way later than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Like, that was a game that I thought would have been out already based on, like, when they announced it. And, like, obviously things get delayed or internally delayed. We don't know how that stuff works. But it coming out in August, I was like, oh, I was hoping to play that by April. Obviously, like, I'm down to wait because I am super looking forward to Metal Gear Solid Delta. But, yeah, like, that was one where I was like, ah, damn. That said, yeah, like, the different camera perspectives are cool. It's one that, as much as I'm looking forward to it, I just need to get my hands on the controller and experience it.
Yeah.
Because, like, Metal Gear Solid 3 means so much to me and so many people. That's one of my favorite games of all time. That might be my favorite video game story of all time. Like, I absolutely love MGS3. And so far, what I've seen of MGS Delta, it looks good. Like, the fidelity of it looks impressive. I like looking at it. But there's also a personality and aura and energy that Metal Gear Solid 3 has that I don't know if I've seen yet in the trailers, and I don't even know if you can convey that in the trailers.
Yeah.
Like, I want them to just upload a fucking 10-minute codec call. And let me just watch what a codec call feels. Let me just see a full cutscene. Yeah. Let me see a full codec call. Like, let me see the nerd, like, the weird shit of MGS3 and experience, like, just see what you have as far as that. And I think that'll be the thing that pushes me over the edge and convinces me.
From what I've gathered from the previews, this seems like very, very, very true to the source material.
Yes.
Like, to the point where, like, you can go side by side and it is the same cuts, it is the same motions, to the point where I think some of the previews were like, this is great, but, it's an old game, and they've been very faithful to the point where it still feels a little old because of that. But so I think that for the MGS3 sickos, this is gonna be fire.
Yeah,
but
and
for me, I don't know how. I'm a little scared, but
I think it'll be fine because MGS3 I think still plays well. I know it's an old game, but Barrett played it for the first time during our Metal Gear Solid streams, and he absolutely loved it.
Oh, cool.
And, like, it's a game that I think is so. Metal Gear Solid in general is so unique in terms of how it plays and feels that, like, certain things age, yes, but you are playing something that is also one of one. And so, like, you're playing Metal Gear Solid 3, and it controls like Metal Gear Solid 3. Like, it doesn't really control, like, many other games. So I think it's going to be fine with that. And I think they're doing it the right way where, yeah, make it one for one, because if you alter anything, people will judge it harshly because Kojima's not involved with this. And so if you change a narrative beat, if you change a line, if you change a face, if you change anything, fans are going to be looking at this thing with a microscope being like, why'd you do this? This ain't art. This ain't my art. Like,
this ain't Kojima's art.
Yeah, so I think you do want to have it be that one for one kind of experience.
Hell yeah.
I'm looking forward to you trying it out. I think you're going to like it.
I'm going to have a good time. Should I play that or 2 first? Or 1? I'm not playing 1. Fuck that.
I'll play 1.
What?
Yeah, 1's good.
That's old.
I mean, it is old, but it's good.
Should I play Twin Snakes?
No.
Fuck.
Play 1.
Fuck.
I would say, yeah, play 1 and 2. But you also don't have. here's my hot take, and I don't even think it's a hot take. My first Metal Gear Solid game that I played was Metal Gear Solid 3. And
also, by the way, I played Peace Walker. I forgot about that, but I forgot everything about it.
oh, then you'll be extra fine then.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's the same character.
Yeah.
But yeah, Metal Gear Solid 3 as a jumping in point to the franchise is actually pretty solid because it's a prequel and it feels standalone enough. Obviously, there's references and stuff, but you're gonna be fine jumping in, and you're jumping in into one of the best ones.
Okay.
You could, if you had the time and if you wanted to, play MGS 1 and 2. Why not?
Can I start with 2?
No.
I'm interested in 2.
No, don't you fucking. If you start with 2, I'm hunting you down. Don't fucking start with 2.
I'm super interested in 2.
Don't. Whatever you do, you can start with 3 or start with 1. Do not start with 2, Roger. I swear to God.
I like Raiden.
I mean, I like Raiden. Play Revengeance then. Play Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. You would fuck with that
like
game.
That one. I like that one. I started that one for a little bit. I didn't like that. It was just. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't understand you sometimes.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't like
Revengeance?
I don't know. It's a great game.
I don't know.
You know what else is great?
What?
Patreon.com/kindafunny, YouTube.com/kindafunnygames, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Those are the places you can go to get the Kinda Funny membership, which allows you to get shows ad-free. Speaking of ads, let us tell you about our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by Aura Frames. I'm going to be real. Aura Frames might be the most popular sponsor products people here have ever had at Kinda Funny. Many of us have Aura Frames set up at their desks, and even more of us have gifted them to friends and family to absolute rave results. Aura Frames was named the #1 digital picture frame by Wirecutter, and it's for a good reason. It's so easy to set up, and they have different frame options. We gifted Aura Frames to Gia's mom and dad this holiday, and they're both obsessed with us being able to upload our wedding photos straight to their frames. All you need is the free Aura app and a Wi-Fi connection, and you can upload as many photos and videos as you want, and your favorite live iPhone photos will play right on the frame. Right now, you can save on the perfect gift that keeps on giving by visiting auraframes.com. For a limited time, listeners can get $20 off of their best-selling Carver matte frame with code KINDAFUNNY. That's auraframes.com, promo code KINDAFUNNY. Don't forget to mention that we sent you to show your support for this show. Terms and conditions apply.
Before we move on, Roger, I want to bring in some super chats from the audience. Dexter Schwarzler writes in and says, "Bless, D&D is the greatest game ever made. Hop on that train. P.S. If there's anyone out there that wants to play with, please, I need friends." Thank you so much, Dexter, for that. One day I will get into D&D. I think D&D is probably my next obsession after Magic the Gathering. I gotta kind of like get through the Magic first.
You gotta pace. You can't be a Magic guy and a D&D guy at the same time.
Because then I'm just not leaving the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think right now I'm at peak Magic. And I got to start to descend out of it before I can even consider D&D, but I do want to get into D&D because I've tried doing campaigns before. I've done one-shots and stuff, and I have had fun, but it is also just a heavy investment.
It is.
But I want to get there. CJ Splitson writes in and says, "Is Ape Escape officially back? Revival time."
I love Ape Escape. Ape Escape 2 on that list. I need to finish it.
I didn't realize you were an Ape Escape guy.
I played about 5 hours of Ape Escape 2. Loved it. I need to finish that game. That's a good one. So yeah, I hope Ape Escape is back.
When you say you played 5 hours of Ape Escape 2,
yeah,
like when did this happen?
Like maybe like 6 months ago.
You played 5 hours of Ape Escape 2.
Yeah, but it was like
6 months ago.
Yeah, something like that.
Why?
I don't know. I was bored.
On a whim.
Yeah.
Just out of boredom, you picked up Ape Escape 2 for the first time.
I liked Ape Escape 2. It was fun.
Was it because of Astrobot?
No. We didn't even have Astrobot codes. I just wanted to play Ape Escape. The music in Ape Escape 2 or Ape Escape in general is incredible. It's like drum and bass. It's like fucking awesome. Like it is some good shit. And also we're watching the Ape Escape 2, I think anime or Ape Escape anime. It was wild stuff.
There's an Ape Escape anime?
Yeah.
Next super chat comes from Volk Dasher. Writes in and says, "I think we get 3 first-party games from PlayStation, along with a few second-party and third-party exclusives. One of Death Stranding or Yotai comes in May for sure." God, I would love that. I don't see Yotai, Ghost of Yotai coming in or like in May or earlier. Death Stranding 2, you could put anywhere in the year and I'll believe it.
It can come out tomorrow.
Yeah, honestly, you could be like Death Stranding 2's out next month, and I'll be like, damn, all right, cool.
Nah, shit.
Yeah, that's crazy, but that makes sense, I guess.
Crazy with it, bro.
Prinny Dude writes in, oh god, it just fucking jumped. Prinny Dude writes in and says, "Should Sony still do third-party deals / exclusives? Just seems like wasting money when they are the de facto high-end console for the foreseeable future."
No, yeah, of course they should. I mean, even if they're the de facto and they're winning, right? You want to have those games that aren't your games, but you're able to throw a little money and be like, this is our game, pretty much. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of how this works, right? Like you're able to have these co-marketing beats, and it's also goodwill, right, within the industry. So yeah, I mean, even though everyone's probably gonna buy a certain game on PlayStation more, like you want to have that associated with your brand. I mean, look at Metaphor. I mean, that's a game that people forgot that was even that was on other consoles because it was so heavily Xbox marketed, right? Maybe that didn't do well for Metaphor in the long run, but still, those are good deals in my mind.
Yeah, I think you got to, right? You want to maintain what you have. I think if you all of a sudden just stop putting out like a high output of games that people associate with your platform or games that are exclusive to your platform, you start to lose that ground. And I think your fan base notices and starts to ask, why did I buy a PlayStation 5? Like, why should I buy a PlayStation 6 if I look back and you actually didn't have the Stellar Blades of the world and like the games that came out and were exclusive for a time? You look back at last year and guess what? If Stellar Blade didn't come out, if Rise of the Ronin didn't come out, if Final Fantasy VII Rebirth wasn't exclusive, and if Black Myth Wukong wasn't exclusive,
shit.
Last year would have been
Astrobot?
Concord and Astrobot and Horizon the Lego game. And the janky Until Dawn game. Last year would have sucked if you didn't make
still kind of sucks.
Still, yeah.
Even when you add those things.
And I guess you did have Helldivers 2, but remember, Helldivers 2 was a third-party developer.
Second party thing, right?
But second party doesn't exist anymore.
But,
it was a first-party game, but developed by a third-party developer.
Sure, yeah.
I digress, but you can even include Helldivers 2 in that, but that's still, when you're talking about the bangers of last year, that would then be Helldivers 2 and Astrobot. Like, yeah, you need things to fill that in because you might have an Until Dawn or a Concord that don't hit. Guess what? Even though those happened, we still had Final Fantasy. We still have Stellar Blade, right? We still have those third-party deals that help maintain the platform. And I think that helps you as we get into an era where games are taking longer to make, games are not coming out as frequently. Hey, what developer can we turn to like either work with our IP or have their IP come out as something exclusive and special? Oh man, we might be missing out on having some kind of exclusive tough action game, right? Cool. Stellar Blade, you are filling in the From Software thing for us, right? Hey, like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of other genres, but like, those are the ways to fill those gaps that you might have that your own developers might not be able to, right? Like, if you're PlayStation and you have, say you want to fill in that first-person shooter gap. Hey, none of our first-party developers are working on a first-person shooter right now. Guess what you do? You partner with people to go, hey, make this exclusively for our platform. Now, does it always hit? No. No. Like, oftentimes it doesn't hit, but I still think it's worth trying out and doing and experimenting with because when it does hit, guess what? You have those moments, right? You have those moments like Stellar Blade. You have moments like Helldivers 2 and stuff like that. So
you also forgot one big thing.
What's that?
Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. Forgot about that one.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah,
it's a big
Who
one.
Could forget?
Who forgot
Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. Another super chat for you. The Portland Kevin writes in and says, "I'm having surgery tomorrow. Wish me luck with it." Good luck, Portland Kevin.
Hey, good luck.
Be
safe.
And I'll do one more in relation to this PlayStation State of Play. Alex Frazier writes in and says, "Remember Little Devil Inside?" No, me neither.
God damn it.
Yeah?
What the fuck is happening? There's always one every PlayStation generation. Like, a game that is announced in the beginning, and then we're like, is this dead? Is this not dead? What's happening? And then it is dead eventually. I don't know if it is actually dead, but like deep down I think about
Little Devil Inside, probably dead. That's where I'm going to say it's dead until they prove me wrong.
Yeah, that's true. I get it. I don't think it's actually dead, but I think it's dead in terms of hype, right? Like, there's no way that game comes out and it's a huge success unless that game is a masterpiece, right? Like, there's just no momentum.
At some point, we got to sit down and have a conversation about the things that happen every generation that just don't change. Because there's always like the Little Devil Inside. I feel like there's always the Capcom game that gets announced, like a new IP Capcom game that looks weird and interesting that gets announced and then never comes out. Yeah. I'm talking about Deep Down and Pragmata.
Yep.
This has happened 2 generations in a row now.
Yep.
Of like, what the fuck is this game? Where the fuck is this game?
Yep.
And it's always, Deep Down, I think Deep Down might have also been in a PlayStation reveal thing.
Yeah, it was the PlayStation 4 reveal.
Which is the exact same as Pragmata.
Yeah.
What's going on with
Incredible
Capcom
stuff.
and these like PlayStation things announced
stuff.
at the beginning of a
generation? There's always hyper-specific things like that.
Let's move on to story number 2. Final Fantasy XVI's Xbox release announcement is imminent. It is claimed. This is Sam Sepiol at Insider Gaming. An insider has claimed that Final Fantasy XVI's Xbox release announcement will arrive soon. The game's release seemingly is planned for the first half of 2025. The leaker also revealed details about Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth. Spotted by Idle Sloth VGT on X, Nate the Hate recently spoke about Final Fantasy XVI's release plans for Xbox on Reset Era. According to Nate, the announcement should come shortly, but not in the near future if the developers aren't implementing any late changes. Also, Final Fantasy XVI is scheduled to release for Xbox in the first half of 2025, quote, spring basically, end quote. Nate also spoke about Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth's release plans on Xbox. The first installment from Square Enix's remake project is scheduled to arrive for Xbox later this year, and Rebirth is planned for 2026. Nate is unsure about the time, but speculates that Final Fantasy VII Remake, Rebirth, and 16 for Xbox will be announced at the same time for maximum impact. Nate the Hate also mentioned Final Fantasy's plans for Nintendo's highly anticipated console, the Switch 2. It seems that the developers have decided to prioritize Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth for the Switch 2 over Final Fantasy 16. Regardless, it is exciting to see Final Fantasy embrace a multi-platform future for the franchise.
It's exciting.
Are you excited for the max impact of all these Final
Oh,
Fantasies?
dude, they're gonna hit him
Xbox?
with the max. Do you think they're gonna do the reveal where it's like Final Fantasy 16, ding, and then it's like, and then the music starts playing, and it's 7, ding, and it's 7 Rebirth, ding, and then they're all gonna come together, and it's gonna be a one pack for $300. It's like, oh no.
I think yes, but like 16 is almost gonna be like like they're gonna start with 7 Remake, and then it's gonna be.
Oh, interesting.
I think they're gonna be like 7 Remake, 7 Rebirth.
No.
And also 16's coming too.
No, I think it's the opposite.
16's gonna come
no,
also.
No, because you start with 16, because then people are like, oh, that's cool, that's exciting. And then, but like, I want 7. I want 7. Oh, 7's here. Holy shit, holy shit. But like, I want Rebirth. Oh shit, Rebirth this year. Like, you have to go from the bottom and go all the way up. Sorry, 16 fans.
I'm curious on how they do it, because the vibe I get from Nate is that like it seems like him saying that they're coming to other platforms is like him using his insider knowledge, but like the maximum impact thing seems like more like speculation from him of how they would do it. And I think depending on the timing, because I know he says first half of 2025, things always change and shift. And also technically June is first half, if I'm going by my thing, right? I think you get to the Xbox showcase
All
and
of them.
out now situation. And it might be not all of them, maybe 16 is out now.
Yeah.
7 Remake and 7 Rebirth coming out later in the year type thing.
As a dual pack or something.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That'd be fucking sick.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, it also goes with what he's talking about Switch 2. I mean, I guess it's a different situation with 16 coming to Xbox first and then not coming to Switch 2 until later after 7 and 7 Rebirth come out.
Yeah.
But yeah, you want to have those moments for both of those games, or those 7 and 16, right? Because if you just put them all at once, 7's just going to dominate the conversation. You want people to re-experience and play 16 for the first time.
I think you got to give 16 this moment. Obviously, 16 is a popular game. 16 is a fucking great game and all that stuff, right? But I think when you're looking at how strong like Final Fantasy 7 is and has been throughout like decades at this point, like that's the one you don't want 16 to get overshined by the 7 hype. Yeah. So to go 16 is out right now on Game Pass, you can like that's gonna be fire.
That'd be awesome.
That's gonna be like a hot drop right there, and then you get to go. Also, 7 Remake out this fall. You can even say 7 Rebirth is out 2026.
Yeah,
and make it work that way.
I wonder if it is a Game Pass situation. I'm a little hesitant on that just because, Square Enix probably wants to make some money back on 16. I don't know if it flopped. I don't think it flopped or anything. But
I think it failed to make their expectations.
Exactly, right? Like, yeah. Maybe a Game Pass deal fixes that for them, but also I could see just having that announcement hype of people like, hey, buy this thing on this new console, get excited about it. You haven't played it. You didn't even think that was even possible, potentially, to play it on here.
My thing is, if it's a showcase thing, right? If I'm predicting it as a showcase thing, then I think it has to be on Game Pass.
Okay.
I don't think Xbox at this point their showcases, and I'm probably wrong about this if you guys go back and do like the research. And Chad, you can correct me in real time. I think we're at the point with Xbox showcases where if it's showing up at an E3-ish Summer Game Fest showcase for Xbox, it's gonna be Game Pass. Yeah. Like you gotta, I think, double down on that messaging.
I do wonder, Switch 2, is that a launch title? 16? I can see it.
16, no. Just from the verbiage of the article.
7. Sorry, 7 or 7. Yeah, do we have a Final Fantasy as a launch title? That's such a strong launch title.
It is.
Or launch window title. Like, that's so fucking sick.
I'll put it in window.
Okay.
I think in the first 2 months.
Is it shown at the April 2nd Direct? Because that's sick, too.
Yes.
Oh
yeah.
Dude.
If that's happening, yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's gotta happen.
Dude, come on.
Let's shift gears From Final Fantasy to Resident Evil. Story number 3, Resident Evil Reverse is shutting down as Capcom reaches new turning point with the franchise. This is Ryan Dinsdale at IGN. Resident Evil Reverse, the multiplayer spin-off of the beloved horror franchise, is shutting down this June after less than 3 years on the market. I'm going to pause there and ask Roger, did you know that Resident Evil Reverse came out?
I did know it came out. I thought that I saw this news 2 years ago. I could have sworn to you that this game was closed out. So maybe it like came back from the dead and then now it's being closed down again. I don't know what the fuck's happening.
Because I remember it was supposed to come out with the game. I forget which game at this point.
8.
Was it 8?
I believe
Resident Evil
so.
Village? Okay, it was supposed to come out with Village. Yeah. It's funny because there's been so many Resident Evils in the last.
And there was also a mobile one, right? Wasn't there a mobile Resident Evil Reverse thing? Or maybe this is the same game and I just thought it was a mobile game.
I mean,
is this a mobile game?
The Reverse, it can't be. I don't think it's a mobile game. But I'm sure you're right that there is a Resident Evil mobile game.
Oh, maybe it's 2? Wait, what? Did it come out with 3? What the fuck?
Somebody said I got it free with Resident Evil 3 Remake.
Oh, was it 3?
Well, was it? I think it was 3.
3 came out 3 years ago?
3 came out in like 2020, because I remember playing it at Kevin's
What was the one with
sister's
3?
house.
Yeah, okay. Wait, what? I got it for free with 8, I thought.
Well, no, okay, so let me explain why everybody's confused. I'll explain why everybody's confused. Resident Evil Reverse was supposed to come out with 3. Wait, it came with Resistance? Anyway, Resident Evil Resident Evil Reverse was supposed to come out at some point. When it was supposed to come out, it got delayed for a long time. So I think people were like, "Oh, I think I got it with this thing."
No, Resistance was the one that was that was the online component of 3.
Gotcha.
So that's the confusion here, is that we are all associating one bad multiplayer Resident Evil game with another one that was also associated with another Resident Evil game.
So I think you're then right about look up Reverse. Look up when Reverse was supposed to come out. Because I forgot Resistance was a thing. Reverse, I think, then was supposed to be with Village, but chat, correct me on this. Reverse, I think, got delayed also. It got delayed out of the Village launch time.
I think it just might be a separate game.
I'm gonna read the article as we figure this out.
Yeah.
Capcom announced the shutdown in a blog post despite also saying the game had exceeded expectation, saying it has served its celebratory purpose admirably, but is no longer needed as it has reached a new turning point for the series. Resident Evil Reverse and all of its downloadable content will be removed from sale on March 3rd, but those with the game already downloaded will be able to access it until June 29th. You will no longer be able to play Resident Evil Reverse once service has officially ended, Capcom said. Quote, Resident Evil Reverse was developed in celebration of the 25th anniversary of the Resident Evil series.
Oh, wow.
And your overwhelming support for the game has far exceeded our expectations since its time of release, Capcom said. Now that we've reached a new turning point for the series, we feel that Resident Evil Reverse has served its original celebratory purpose admirably. We are incredibly grateful for your warm support of Resident Evil Reverse, and we deeply apologize for bringing you this disappointing news, end quote.
Okay, so May 7th, 2021, Village came out, right?
Yeah.
So then a year later, Village Gold Edition came out, and that included Reverse.
Okay.
And then that was it was a separate download. It was not like attached to the game. It was like a separate thing you had to download. Wow, so sad.
Yeah, I mean, especially because, like, we showed overwhelming support for Reverse.
We all did.
We showed
for that one or the other one. I can't tell.
And we showed overwhelming support to the point where it far exceeded Capcom's expectations.
Far exceeded.
It's far exceeded, and so
I want to go to the Steam DB page so bad.
Yeah, see if you can find the concurrent players right now for Reverse, because I gotta know.
All right, Reverse.
The part of this story that does stand out to me in a meaningful way, though, is them saying that they've reached a turning point with the series. Because that, for me, strikes me as, hey, we're ready to start the next chapter of Resident Evil. And for me, that's exciting. I know that's like reading into a little bit, but still kind of an exciting verbiage of, hey, Resident Evil Reverse, we're kind of done with it because we're focused on the future. We're about to step into the future of Resident Evil.
Which is what I want. More multiplayer games.
What's your over-under on a new multiplayer Resident Evil being announced with the next Resident Evil game?
0%. No.
I'm going 100%.
What?
I'm going 1,000%. We're gonna get a new multiplayer Resident Evil game. It's gonna be a bonus. If you get the $100 version of Resident Evil 9, you'll get it included. Yeah.
So Steam DB numbers right here. The all-time peak 2,100. That was 2.3 years ago.
2,100?
That was at
2,100 players.
2,100. And then the very next day, it dropped down, I believe, to 300 players, and then has been around 38 players ever since. So 38 players, 40 players playing right now. Probably they heard the news and they're
38 players is your 24-hour peak for that, right?
Yeah, yeah. 58 players is the 24-hour peak.
Like the latest 24-hour peak?
Yeah. Good stuff, man.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Story number 4 is a bunch of layoff news. There's a lot of layoff news today. I bundled along to one story. We're going to go through it all. A lot of stat stuff happening here. Iron Galaxy, let's start off with that. They've laid off 66 developers in a last resort life-saving effort. I'm pulling from Justin Carter at Game Developer. Developer Iron Galaxy has eliminated 66 positions across its development and support teams. The studio, which created Rumbleverse and helped develop the recent Last of Us remasters, explained it's made sacrifices over the years to protect its teams from the layoff waves. But after this past winter, it's run out of room to weather the current industry tumult. Quote, "This was a means of a last resort for us," it wrote. "It's a measure we do not take lightly to enable our long-term survival," end quote. In a statement, Iron Galaxy affirmed its commitment to working with its development partners and hopes to continue exploring new ways to support an industry we love and keep working towards its ongoing recovery. Obviously, sad news. Our hearts go out to the developers over there at Iron Galaxy that lost their jobs and the ones that are still even remaining, right, and having to figure out where to go from here.
Yeah, this one hurt for me, right? Especially with it. When you see both sides, right? But we're gonna see another side of it, right? And a little bit with the next story, right? But like you see this side of like a smaller, not smaller, but they're relatively smaller and they're not a huge publisher or whatever, a support studio that had a dream with Rumbleverse, right? Did not pan out for them. They tried to recover. They tried to make sure they didn't lay off anybody since. And then now it's like the moment of fuck. Like there's nothing else we can do, right? And we talked about Sumo Digital, right? Having to drop off all of their original games that they were making a few days ago. So it shows like this is a great team that was super creative, and Killer Instinct was very popular for a lot of people. And people are like, man, it's Killer Instinct 2. Is that going to happen? And it's like, I see this and it's like, maybe not. Like maybe this is just gonna be a support studio until they can figure out how to sustain for the future. Because making your own IP, making your own thing is clearly super hard right now in this landscape with free to play and everything going on.
Next one is Bandai Namco studio staff silently reduced by over 100 people. I am pulling from Amber V at Automaton. The number of staff at Bandai Namco Studios, the developer of Tekken 8, Scarlet Nexus, and Blue Protocol, has decreased by 117 between April 2024 and February 2025. This is according to the online database of Japan's pension service, which contains information on the number of people each business establishment has enrolled under their employee social insurance. In other words, the number of insured employees. Bandai Namco Studios company overview states that as of April 1st, 2024, the developer counted 1,294 employees. On the other hand, the Japan Pension Service database, which was last updated on February 4th, 2025, indicates that the number of employees is now down to 1,177. In October last year, Bloomberg reported that Bandai Namco Holdings allegedly placed 200 employees of Bandai Namco Studios in so-called expulsion rooms. Insiders alleged that this was done to coerce staff into resigning voluntarily. This action was reportedly a result of the discontinuation of several games run by the company, as well as the cancellation of ongoing development projects, including one for Nintendo. Again, this kind of piggybacks off of what you're just talking about as far as the landscape of video games right now, the landscape of the business right now. Lots of projects being canceled. Like they talk here about the Nintendo one, but also I believe Blue Protocol was also it was an Amazon project that I believe was also canceled. I'm doing a lot of correct me if I'm wrong today, but correct me if I'm wrong about that.
And I know this is the studio side of it, right? It's not the publishing side of it, but you can't ignore the massive failure that was Unknown 9, right? That was published by Bandai Namco that came out in October. That I was aware of. I knew it came out, but then I saw Moist Critical talking about the Steam DB chart. There are 3 people playing this game right now, and
that's less than Reverse.
There was an all-time peak in the last 4 months since launch of 285 people. So this game, complete massive flop, and of course, different sides of things, right? But I mean, it's the larger company of it all, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if this had some type of connection to the layoffs, right?
It is kind of death by a thousand cuts sort of thing, and like obviously Bandai Namco's not dead here.
Of course.
They're still going strong, but it does suck to be in this place of Bandai Namco is one of the publishers I look at as, oh man, you guys are killing it.
Yeah, you have Night Rain coming up too.
You have Night
Holy
Rain
shit.
coming up. I mean, you published Elden Ring before. Even last year, you had Tekken 8, which I know was a big success. You had Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, which
5 million, right?
5 million,
Yeah.
which must have been above your expectations. I gotta imagine. So like Bandai Namco is a company that I usually associate with its successes, but then you talk about Unknown 9. Honestly, I forgot that was even a thing.
Everyone did.
Yeah, I was like, for a second, I was like, there's no way Unknown 9 was published by Bandai.
Yeah.
And here we are, right? And like, you talk about the cancellations of projects you had with other partners, things like Blue Protocol, like, damn. Like that sucks to see. And it sucks to see that just a few failures of, like, I think that caliber can rock a team that also has successes of that caliber. It's like, man, that feels so imbalanced. And I think, again, that comes back to the results of where we're at in the business right now and the kind of numbers that companies feel like they have to put up in order to
the failures
continue
really
to hire
fail and the
people.
successes don't account for the failures.
Yeah.
That's just where we're at now, right? Where back in the day, or at least it's what it felt like, you can have a massive success and then you can have a failure and it's like, okay, well, it evens itself out. It's like, nope, not anymore. You have a failure, we're done. We have to lay off people.
Another one for you. I'm calling this one PlayStation layoffs ? Because it is coming from one post from one person. But Ryosuke on Mastodon puts up a post saying, most of my team was just laid off from PlayStation. It was a dream to get to work with Sony on the platform I'd grown up playing since the PS1 and contribute to the PS5, Portal, PSVR 2, PS App, and future consoles. If you know anyone who needs an engineer experienced native console UI, feel free to reach out. A few outlets picked this one up, just noting that it seems like, you're seeing layoffs there as well. For context, Ryosuke has in his profile, he's a senior design technologist at PlayStation, so that would be his team there. And so hearts go out. And then we have one more, which isn't really layoff, but because it is one guy here.
Sure.
But 2K Games fires studio head Michael Condrey after disappointing Project Ethos reveal. This is Ethan Gotch at Kotaku. 2K Games has fired 31st Union President Michael Condrey after the studio's long-awaited online multiplayer game Project Ethos was revealed last fall to little fanfare or apparent player interest, according to two sources familiar with the studio. The project's fate is now unclear, although 2K, which is publishing Borderlands 4 and Mafia: The Old Country later this year, says it remains very committed to both Project Ethos and the studio behind it. Roger, of course, you know Project Ethos.
I do actually, because I ran the episode where where you guys talked about the reveal of this game, and totally forgot about it until just now. So
Was I on that episode?
Maybe, I don't know. I remember having to pull up this trailer and be like, wow, this looks like any other game. Yeah, what a weird one. It came out, reveal that came out of nowhere to a game that just kind of looks like anything and everything. And sure, it's going to be, hopefully it does well, but it looks like it's going to be another drop in the bucket.
Here's the thing is, I know I watched this trailer because I recognize like the font. I recognize the Project Ethos like logo.
Yeah.
But as I look at the gameplay, I'm like, you're right as far as it looks like anything and everything. I'm looking at this gameplay, I'm like, there's no way I watched this gameplay.
Yeah.
Because this looks, I don't recognize anything.
It looks like everything. I don't know. So, hopefully it's good.
Roger, a lot of big news we just talked about. A lot of big news. But if I wanted something smaller, say the tiniest news I needed to know about, where would I go?
You go to our last story, the Wii News channel, where we cover all the small news items you need to know about.
Wii News.
I'm pressing the button.
He's pressing the button. He's trying. Roger's doing the thing. Story number 5, I'm demoting to Wii News because we're running late in the show. But it is an interesting one, right? The ESA is back with a new video game conference. Of course, if you're unfamiliar with the ESA, they are the organization that ran E3. Basically, their new conference they're throwing here is called ICON with 2 I's.
Don't like that.
Because it stands for Interactive Innovation Conference. It's being pitched as an essential convening for change makers across the industry, Roger.
You're a change maker. You should go there.
Yeah, what have I changed? what change have I made?
You gotta make
in
some
this industry?
change, bro.
It'll seemingly focus on those careening through the world of video games. Careening. I'm gonna need a definition on careening. It'll take place in the Fontainebleau Resort in Las Vegas.
Ooh, a resort.
Yeah.
You should go.
In Las Vegas.
You're a change maker, bro.
It's
Let's see
happening
how you
April
use a
27th.
change maker.
It seems cool. This my read on this is like this feels like they're filling in the need for the business stuff of E3 that's being lost with like everything.
Makes sense.
With E3, right? And like this kind of comes back to what we talked about with Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest and how they're also expanding into more of those business to business.
Yeah. Man, Jeff Keighley cannot stop beefing with the ESA.
Yeah, dude.
No matter what, he is like, he sees it. He probably heard about this, and he was like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, he's like, "I'm doing this.
I'm doing this shit too.
I'll be the only icon." More Wii news for you. Ayuden Chronicles 100 Heroes is getting 3 story expansions. You're getting the chapter of Marissa on February 27th. You're getting the chapter of Sane March 13th, and the chapter of Marcus on April 3rd.
I'm really excited about this one.
About Ayuden Chronicle or the upcoming or the next thing I'm about to read?
No, just Ayuden Chronicle.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Okay. I didn't know are you looking forward to the chapter of Marcus?
Nah, I'm fucking with you. I'm sorry.
Sugar Dew Island launches March 7th on PS5, PS4, Switch, and PC. And then shortly after for Xbox Series. Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 Data Vault update is now available. And then lastly, Ambulance Life, a paramedic simulator, is out today.
I'm sure there'll be a stream.
Oh, Mike's told me about this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Mike
That's
is very
awesome.
hyped for the Paramedic Life, Ambulance Life paramedic simulator game. That is it for Wii News. Before we get out of here, let me look up some super chats. See what you guys are talking about out there. Dean8149 says Rumbleverse deserved better. I think we all agree.
What did you say, sir?
Rumbleverse deserved better.
Oh, yes.
Every time I think about Rumbleverse, I think about Knockout City, and also how Knockout City also deserved way better.
I get sad.
Dude, that game was fucking. Ugh.
We can still play it though. Offline servers.
Yeah, but like,
You can set it up.
then I gotta find 5 of my friends. I ain't got 5 friends.
It's almost like you have 5 stations.
You think I know 5 people that'll play Knockout City with me? Mike the meme says, Roger, I would go on a no-fly list for you.
What?
It's because you got slapped on the plane, so they think they would fight.
Oh,
on the
okay,
plane.
gotcha.
Yeah.
I thought that this person was like, "I'll beat you up," and go on a no.
Roger, I'm gonna take you
That's
out
how
on a
much
plane.
I don't like you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Mr. Hawk says, bless, you were called out to be in the Gaming While Black documentary. I can't link the clip in a super chat, but I posted it in the Twitch chat. I did see the clip.
What's the clip?
Basically, there are some people that are making a documentary called Black. I believe it's called Being Black While Gaming. They just said it here. Gaming While Black is the name of the documentary, right? And they're kind of taking a look into, I guess, like a culture of gaming, right, in the Black community. Sounds really cool. Sounds really awesome. I am down to be a part of it. You know where to find me. They got my email. We already talked in email.
Oh, okay.
It's just the tough thing of I was supposed to go down during summer, they wanted me to come down during Game Awards, and I didn't have plans to come down during Game Awards, and so, but we'll link up.
We'll figure it out.
Hit me up. Let's see here. Zeke Speak says, bless, there's literally an MTG sourcebook setting for D&D. You can do both. You want me to do crack and heroin at the same time?
Sounds like a good time though.
That's what you want me to do. Kevin, you got a call.
Trying to figure out what's wrong with the audio. You know? Why isn't it playing?
That was the crack and heroin calling. They wanted you to do
They're
it.
like, we got something to sell you. Right? Let me tell you about MTG,
Ring.
MTG and D&D. Put that shit in your veins, and you're gonna be floating. Alex Frazier writes in. Oh, actually, no, we already got to Alex Frazier's. Hold on. Dear Sixer writes in and says, takes a hit of copium. Valentine's Day. Hearts. Kingdom Hearts 4. Trust me, bro. This will be the one. It's totally the state of play. Gotta be.
No.
Also, I don't think the state of play is happening on Valentine's Day. I think this is happening during Valentine's Day
It's
week.
gonna be TGS this year. We're gonna see.
Because Valentine's Day is on a Friday. State of plays those don't happen on Fridays.
It could be on Friday though. Could be like you don't got shit going on.
they're like we know our audience. Y'all ain't doing shit on Valentine's Day.
We saw how well fucking Sonic 1 did on Valentine's Day.
Oh man, yeah, we did.
I was there.
I think that's it for super chats. Yeah, that's it for super chats. Okay, Kevin, I gotta figure out something with my YouTube window because whenever I try to scroll through the super chats on my YouTube window, it's just very slow. It's like Chrome is taking up all the energy. Like here, I'll show you, Roger. Right? Like, well, right now. Oh, see, right now I'm trying to scroll. Nothing. I'm trying to click.
You can
It's
break
not,
it out. You can like take that thing.
Like the page isn't responding.
Like click the 3 dots right there.
Well, right now. Oh, here we go.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
We'll figure it out.
shit's all fucked in my, and it's been like that for a while.
Shit's all fucked, bro.
Shit's all fucked. That's why I'm always struggling with the super chats because I can't scroll.
Mm-hmm. Can't scroll.
Roger, let's get into your wrong. Of course, you can write in. Let us know what we got wrong as we got it wrong, so we can correct it for those watching later on YouTube.
This is a
and listening
perfect
later
show.
on podcast services around the globe. I mean, we'll see.
This is a perfect show. I switched to Firefox.
I think you're right that this might be a perfect show because I think all the things I'm saying are from yesterday.
Oh, dude.
Because people don't be deleting your wrongs.
And those idiots yesterday, they got a lot wrong.
They got a lot wrong. Yeah, because I'm seeing here,
wrong,
Dirty
bro.
Daddy writes in and says, actually, Thor: Love and Thunder deserves more hate.
Okay.
Which I kind of agree with.
I agree with it, but
I think I heard Andy roast that guy, actually. I think Andy refused to read that one yesterday.
Good.
And so I'm reading it. I'll read it a second time. Dirty Daddy writes in and says, actually, Thor: Love and Thunder deserves more hate.
He's right.
Dirty Daddy, I agree.
He's right.
That movie sucked, man.
That movie sucked so bad.
Bless.
What's up?
You're not wrong, dude.
I have not checked my watch more in a movie than that movie. I've checked my watch maybe 4 times throughout that movie, and I was like, wow, still going. Holy shit.
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
Because like
you fell asleep on this one?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
But MCU movies have this quality to them where as soon as I finish the movie, I'll be like, oh, that was a fun time. And then you give me 2 days, I'm like, no, that movie sucked.
I hated that, yeah.
Like, because it's Thor, Ant-Man, Quantumania, Deadpool and the Wolverine. Like,
okay, that was a great one. I stand by that one. I'm usually hate.
That was a great one.
I feel like me and you sat down on the show and hated on Deadpool and Wolverine.
That was a great one.
I'm pretty sure we hated on that together here.
No, I don't think I hated on that.
Somebody said, people were saying Eternals. Actually, I still kind of like Eternals.
Nah, I like the idea. The execution was bad.
So I'm saying that to say, I'm sure you could find a tweet from me saying how much I like Thor: Love and Thunder, and I'm getting ahead of it in case haters want to do that. I'm saying like, listen, when I get out the theater, I'm hyped. All right, I just saw a post-credit scene. I saw a fan favorite character that nobody knows.
Especially when we do the little like standing like huddle thing where people are going to the bathroom, we're all leaving, we're like, oh yeah, it was pretty good. Like this happened. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, but then I sit with it for 2 days, and I'm like, no, that shit was whack.
Deadpool and Wolverine is like one of the few ones that actually grew on me as time went on. Like I would look back on, I'm like, I like that one a lot. I had a great time with that one.
Yeah,
I had a great time.
What was your favorite part? The bad CGI?
Or
the overdone humor.
Oh, I'm sorry. Fucking CGI isn't the only thing I focus on. You know what I mean?
Ryan
These
Reynolds,
poor artists.
Ryan Reynolds is making 10 bad jokes a second. It's like, pace yourself out, man.
Pace yourself out, bro.
If you write 1,000 jokes and most of them are bad, write less jokes.
Listen, I like the
That's harsh.
bromance. I like the
Ryan Reynolds a
bromance. I think they're cute. I think it's fun. It was a good time. Shut my brain off. And the dancing sequence in the beginning, it's a good time, guys. You guys are so fucking.
I mean, I love NSYNC dance numbers.
Yeah, it was good.
In 2025.
It was good. It was
Wait,
fun.
was it NSYNC song or was it Backstreet Boys? I forget what song they
Nobody
did.
knows.
No one knows.
Ain't no lie. Was it Bye Bye Bye?
Yeah, I think it was.
Okay, that's NSYNC then. Yeah, I don't know, man.
It was funny.
I don't know.
It was a good time.
Roger,
Hi.
that's been another episode of Kind of Funny Games Daily.
Oh, shit, we killed it, bro.
Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm not trying to hold you back. Of course, each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and all podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with the Kind of Funny membership on Patreon or YouTube to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get a daily exclusive show. Enjoy GamesCast next and the stream after. But until next time, Game Daily. Good handshake.